Mohamed Younis, you are our country director in Sudan and you're currently in the country. There has been reports of escalation in fighting in El-Fasher. We have heard reports of civilian casualties. Some civilians have been able to escape, others are trapped. What are the latest information that you have from your side?
The last 48 hours has been very difficult for civilians in Al-Fashir. There is a lot of reports about the recent takeover of the RSF of the town that was under siege for the last for at least 500 days. There has been a lot of violence and clashes between the RSF and the SAF inside the town, with an estimate of 250,000 civilians trapped until today. There has been a lot of horrible pictures, videos being published on social media about the civilians that were trying to flee the town towards Tawila in central Darfur. Those who have made it to Tawila have arrived, according to the UN, in a very bad conditions. Still, as I said, the figures of the UN is estimating at least 250,000 civilians that are still trapped inside the town with no access to services, with no access to food, with no access to water. The situation inside Al-Fashir is horrible. It's beyond imagination, where the civilians are really paying the utmost price of this conflict.
Thanks, Mohammed, for this update. What needs to happen right now? You mentioned lack of humanitarian access, so probably humanitarian assistance. Could you maybe speak of what needs to happen right now for civilians to protect civilians, and who needs to act?
There has been a lot of efforts by the international community to impose some sort of pressure on the warring parties to stop the siege on Al-Fashir, particularly calling on the RSF to end the siege. There has been even a UN resolution that was not respected. Humanitarian access was absolutely blocked by the RSF, according to the UN statements. No humanitarian convoy was able to reach the town for a long time, for a very long time. No humanitarian presence were allowed inside the town. I think now it is never too late. Even if we save one life, it's worth it. We need to stop the attack on civilians, and we need the RSF to respect their obligations of the Eid Shell and make sure that civilians are safe and they are allowed to get out of Al-Fashir, those who are willing to, and those who have decided to stay inside the town, to be for the humanitarians to be able to reach them.
Mohammed, CIVIC doesn't have a presence in El-Fasher, but we've been trying to establish contact with the civilian population in El-Fasher. Could you maybe speak of how CIVIC is trying to do that, and what are we trying to do?
We are coordinating with the rest of the humanitarian community. As of today, I think there is no humanitarian presence in Al-Fashir whatsoever. CIVIC is really playing a role in terms of advocacy. We are advocating for the civilians inside the town. We are talking to everyone possible. We are talking to the humanitarian coordinator. We are talking to the INGO forum, the Sudan INGO forum, trying to coordinate with the humanitarian efforts. And we are part of this with these efforts to make sure that civilians are safe and protected, and they are not really subject to any violations, any attacks, just because they are civilians.
Thanks so much, Mohammed, for this update, and we'll be back to you again in a few days to have another update.